the life. Watch for the life.
Yeah,
We,
real life.
so this is my friend Doris,
The chatty girl.
the chatty girl, and every now and then we get on Zoom and we have a chat about what lights us up, and that's what led to both of us actually doing a live together. And we're going to do a lot more of these. I'm demanding it. I'm demanding that you hang out with me more.
I will.
Exactly. Okay. So we are both Joy business facilitators, and we're going to have a different conversation about business today. We're going to talk about before we came on, we were chatting to each other and we were talking about the gift of being alive, and it's a beautiful day. First of all, I would like to tell everyone that's watching who may be in the place of like, oh, it wasn't always like that for both of us. We didn't always have the joy. So what would you like to talk about, my dear friend?
Oh, you know what? I'm not sure if I have not had always the joy, but you know, when there is joy that is not normal, you just start to hide it or cut it off or not live it. Because if I look at me and all the work that I did, I started working when I was 15.
Wow.
Yeah, because I wanted a small motorcycle. I think that you can drive when you're 15 or 16.
A moped, a little moped.
Yeah. So it was like, if I don't work, there's no money to do that, and I would not grow up in a household where there was a lot of money. So I would just tell my mom, I want to have a job now to create money. She would support and drove around with me and said, I think we can ask there and you will get one. And it was like this. So, but what I did not know in a way is that I could start any business from nothing. Like this is,
and yet you did. And yet you did. Because if you look at that 14-year-old, and it's so funny because I started my first job. I started babysitting at 11, and then I started working in a fish and chip takeaway. We have them in Ireland where it's fresh fish with like beautiful breadcrumbs. And so yet you did start it because you were like, okay, I require some more money for my living. So already you had the awareness of what was required for you to live the life that you desire.
That's true. And I was always willing to work, even when I went to Vienna, where I live now again, to study. I was clear that I will have a job next to the money that I received, just to have more space, just to have more possibilities, and really to take care about myself. You know, that I don't put it on someone else. Oh, I'm a student and I don't have enough money. It's like, it's on me to create more. I've never said it like this. This is cool. It's so true.
It's so funny. I was just looking at the same thing. I never recognized when I was 14 years of age. My mother was like really poor on her own. And I got this job because I liked to have my hair done and I liked to have new clothes. And my mother was a seamstress. So my idea was I'll go buy the material and I get my mom to make the stuff, which she did. And so for me, this job was about giving me the things that I required. And one of the things was I always liked to wear nice clothes. I didn't ever, so I didn't actually look at this until you just said it. How much did we have our own backs in that?
And you know what? You did not expect from your mom, because she's your mom, to do it for you. You started the creation with.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just go here. I know we're so cool. and so everywhere that everyone's watching this, either now or in the future, and you haven't acknowledged your capacities to generate. So we talk in the Joy business, we're both Joy business facilitators, generation. And generation is starting something from nothing. Absolutely nothing. Generation is starting something fresh, new, from nothing. And we can all be and do that for sure.
And wow, this blows my mind, because I wonder then, when did we give it up? because, you know, there it's like this ease, joy, and glory as well. You know, you're a teenager. Yeah, there is also this drama time maybe, but it's like there isn't, you are like, I want to have this, and then you look at how do I get it? Like there is this thing of like, how do I get, like, can I have this in my life? And you will just go for it. What I got for myself, there was this point where people say, you know, now life is starting. Like I was always told when I'm 18, now the serious time
This
is
part, yeah. It's
and
so funny. It's so funny. You said something there, and I'd really like to talk about it. You said, when did I give that up? I don't think I ever gave it up, but what I did give up was the ease of it. Do you get what I mean?
yeah.
I didn't ever give up. Like I remember my eldest daughter, who's 27, coming to me and saying, "Hey mom, I'd like to go to an Irish college." And immediately I was like, okay, okay. And I wouldn't have had the words for what is it that I require to actually, you know, create this. And at the time I had a personal trainer and a fitness business for years, and my three kids, right, into the car, printed a load of posters, sent them all around the villages, and I had 80 people show up in this fitness class in 2 villages in East Cork, and I had the money to send her to the college on the first. When I received the payments for the 8 weeks from the two different villages, I had the money to send her to the college.
This is so
but, but when did we give up? Thank you for this. When did we give up the ease of it? And when did we get into the problems of what I would like to look at? And I adore this conversation, is when did we buy into the problems of the how, making it difficult, making it hard, instead of just going, hang on a second, what is required for this to actually become available in my life?
yeah. And I just told you that I just had an SOP session, Symphony of Possibilities sessions, with a client. And I asked her, like, so did we have a really big reality shift? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, this is maybe something for all of you that watch. Ask yourself, so did we have a really big reality shift? And if you get a yes, then it's also the acknowledgement of it. And now more than ever, the East Show and Glory is the new reality. It is available more than ever. We have asked for it for years. We have, like, we were invited always to ask for all of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. But now it's like, it's here. And now it's also like to acknowledge it. And now, like, I wonder what else is possible. I wonder how much ease, joy, and glory I really allow myself to live from, to be, to embody, and to not do it as if it's something outside of us, and create from it, and really wake up not from worry and thinking of, you know, how does money come in, but really from, I wonder how much fun I can have today. I wonder what else I can choose here. I wonder what conversations I can have, and what people I can meet today that really expand my life, that's joyful for me, that's interesting also.
Now notice when Laurence, hi Laurence, hey Natalie, hey Jenny, she said she just talked about the new reality in the How to Become Money Workbook webinar. What I would like you guys to tap into is the energy that Doris is being with when she wakes up. Like for me, there was always a frantic adrenal pump would be the only way of I function from what I would have to do to get it, if you know what I mean, instead of what I would have to be to receive it. 2 different realities completely. So Doris talks about waking up and having that energy of relaxation, knowing, and for me, true wealth is, and we talk about this in Joy Business a lot, true wealth is knowing that you can generate anything, that you, when you ask for it, that you can receive it, and that every single molecule in this universe is sitting in support of you, and they're gone to working on your ask the moment that you ask for it. So the energy that you're being is this relaxation into action, where there's no frantic, there's no like, there's no lack, there's no loss. There's this energy of allowing the possibilities into your life and into your business, which is so beautiful. And then the asking, we talked about this last night in the Business Done Different class, the presence of really asking for what you do desire. And to have ease in business and money, you're a freak. You're
That's so true.
You know?
Are you a freak? Like, are you willing to be so different? Because what have you decided is this difference, being different, instead of acknowledging like, this is this is different, this is not normal. And it's so funny when you live it more longer, like being in a question and loving what you do, like it becomes in a way so normal that it's always interesting when other people are coming around and are like, don't never ask questions and just functioning from a different space and place, and you're like, oh, oh, oh. I have been it's a while ago, I have been in a meeting with 40 people that no one is doing access consciousness and knows the tools for 2 days. And really, 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 it's so weird for us maybe. In 2 days, not a single question. And I was sitting there, I was like, I have not acknowledged how different I am. I think we all don't acknowledge how different we are. We think being in question is normal. And then we judge ourselves because we think we don't ask enough questions.
Totally.
If you ask one time a day, what else is possible? High five, this is amazing. You start something different. And really, sitting down, I was like, there was so many conversations, in groups, in smaller groups, and not a single question. And I afterwards I was like, that's true. And
were you like, do people live like this?
yeah, and I was like, oh, this is what's going on, and where we make ourselves wrong. And what as I'm being with this group, so 2 or 3 times a year, I've learned to shut up also, like to not say anything and really be in question with myself. What can be heard here? What if nothing is wrong here? And what am I allowing myself to be? If someone wants change, I'm here. If there is a question, I'm here. But I will not get myself drawn into the conclusions and one sentence after the other. That is not like, but what I wanted to say is like, how different are you already? And how much are you judging yourself because you think you choose too less, ask too less, instead of acknowledging what you're already being. Chosen, how much you are already generating and creating your life differently. And you think you're enough.
And I really want to acknowledge, like, for us, this is a normal conversation.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, for us, it's like what I recognized when you were talking is, for us, we call each other up and we've talked quite a bit about a conclusion. And if you have a conclusion with living, when you wake up in the morning, with your business or with your money flows, the conclusion is what stops, limits you, and holds you back. They do 3 things. They stop, they limit you, they hold you back, and they're a potential future state of disaster because you've gone into all the predictable problems instead of the energy of receiving something. So one of the things that we look at is, and it's so funny because what you said, it's so true. We look at making ourselves wrong or judging ourselves because we went to a conclusion for like 5 minutes, instead of going, oh my goodness, like, look at how much change we're willing to have, and look at how much joy we're willing to be. And we don't acknowledge, for us, how much fun we have and how committed we are to choosing a life that works for us.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's also what comes in for me with joy of business and all the business stuff is being you, where the ease is, where you allow yourself to be you. And by your very presence, you are a change, you're a contribution. You are a question. You are questioning something different, even if you don't say it out loud, because your being is so loud with what you are being. So also with this group, it was interesting. It's the school where my kids are in. So it's so interesting that I perceived for a longer time now that some people don't know what to do with me, and also went into this stance with me, and And then now during Corona time, one woman would write me personally and said, you know what? And she admitted it. She was like, I did have a difficult time in the last 2 years with you. I have also chosen a lot, and how you be in life. But even if you don't have contact, when I go watch your videos, there is something that is so relaxing to me. Thank you so much for being so different. And whatever this was in the last 2 years, thank you. So how much, yeah.
It's so funny because we touched on this just before we came on live, and I do want to bring this. If somewhere in your life where you cannot have joy from someone's, if you've a hard time being genuinely happy for someone for success of other people, like I've watched Doris grow her business, develop her business. I've watched her step into success. And I've also watched her, choose different in very difficult challenges that has come up in her life. Both of us have had difficult challenges, if we're being honest. Now, one of the things is that if I don't have a genuine happiness for the success of Doris, I cannot receive who she's being. And for me, I look at her, and this is me being really honest, I'll be like, there's my friend. Wow, look at what she's generating in the world. Okay, what are the essences of the leadership, and what is she choosing that I can bring into the energy of my life and my living?
Yeah.
And this is where true success actually expands and becomes available. And we're both like that with Simone Millice's, the creator of Joy Business. We actually adore her. We have a level of gratitude. We have a level of gratitude for the greatness that she chooses to be, for what she continues to be for Joy Business. And that allows us to actually receive, and it's all about receiving that energy into our lives and our businesses. So this energy, when people refuse to receive that level of greatness and that level of success and the level of happiness, like Doris pops around in her Jeep, she loves her business, she's always on the phone, always generating, always creating. If you refuse to be genuinely happy for the success of someone, then you cannot receive the energies that they're being in the creation of that success.
Totally. And this is so wonderful because we have some private chats where we sometimes somehow always come to this point of like,
yeah,
oh my God, I love what you do. Oh my God, I love what you do. And where there is so interesting. I had a Being You class this weekend about comparison and all this competition stuff. And it is so interesting where it shows up. And also, how much do you think you're in comparison? But it's not true. But it's all about your greatness, knowing your greatness and allowing to see other people's greatness, and then not making yourself wrong by the greatness of other people, but like outgrading it. For me, it's like the joy of outcreation, of like, oh my God, you're so amazing. What can I be? How can I use this? And that's the beauty of all of this, to use this to your advantage and see people thrive. And then you're like, oh my God, she's like glowing. And then it's not wrong to say, I wanna like use this to even get greater, because this invites each other. But it's
totally
competition energy. It's just like, thank you for showing me there is something else possible, more possible. I love cars, as you said. So for me, it's like, how can I override her? How can I go faster? But not from
different place.
What do I need to do? What do I need to be to just come forward? And then you have to
run faster. I mean, how fast can we go?
But from joy and not from stress. Most people are like having this stress thing of like, oh, I'm too less and I cannot make it, or it's from stress, I need to come forward. You can also stay behind or stay behind, but be there where you be, acknowledge this. But it's like the invitation and inspiration by each other. And that's what I so much love. And I want to bring in, yesterday was this freaking amazing call with the founders of Access Consciousness, Gary Douglas and Dane here, about conflict. And it was a little bit over an hour, and we were all like, all of us, like included Scary and Dane, it was like, what? Like conflict is everywhere. And we were brought up in this reality. Everything is made out of conflict, and you choose greater from a conflict, from making yourself wrong, from resisting and reacting, aligning and agreeing, and really go beyond this, and from your greatness and from your knowing and from your being, and not from I need to prove I want to be greater because, or anything like this. And now this reality is really the time from ease, joy, and glory.
Right.
Because one question was like, how much do you love the conflict of not having money and not being able to choose? Like, how much do you love the struggle and conflict of, I would love to, but I can't. I would love to, but I can't. I would love to, but I can't. It's like, wow. And then you have it, conflict with this and conflict. How much do you love the conflict of not having ease, not choosing ease, not being ease?
Not allowing ease. Yeah. And it's so funny. And I did want to say to you, I have a meeting, so I have to go soon. But the thing about it that both of us have talked about in length is that any time that I would have went to the conflict against myself, making myself wrong, was where there was the most change available. So that conflict opened the door to me to access something different. And that's where you're not aligning and agreeing and resisting and reacting, that you're willing to go beyond that and know something greater is available. Folks, if you get this, where there's the most wrongness, there's the most change. That was a huge opening for me. Beautiful. Thanks for being here with me. I adore you.
Thank you.
How does it get any better than this? Check out Doris. You'll find her. Oh, what's your website so people can go find you?
Under my name everywhere. I think I'm really easy to find. I don't make it.
She is. No, she's not. And so am I.
My name is where you can find me. And like both of us, and what I'd like to say is also find whatever you want to, and if you like this conversation, tag people in this group, share it, comment it, ask us questions, and just have fun with watching this maybe once more, or how often you want to. Pick out whatever works for you and the energy of possibilities. And I think also I'm so grateful for you for this, also inviting us more and more for this Joy of Business conversations, because most people define it as something completely different and think about business however, and what else is possible that would make your life and your business so ease-filled that you're like, what? You cannot like even, so think.
You can't even invent a problem. That you can't even invent a problem. What is it that you can choose today that would make your life so easeful? You see, I'm taking her brilliance, that you couldn't even invent a problem. Cool. Adore you, lady. Check out Joy Business. We're all over the world. It's a revolution. It's a new way of living. Bye for now.